State that it is 7:31 p.m. on Tuesday, December 4th, 2018, and that we are in council chambers, 200 South Street, Morristown, New Jersey. Adequate notice of this meeting was provided according to law by written notice to the Morristown Daily Record, the official newspaper of the town of Morristown, and to the Newark Star Ledger, both more than 48 hours ago. Notice was also posted on the bulletin board at Town Hall and filed with the office of the town clerk of the town of Morristown. I do further state that I shall enter into the minutes of this meeting a statement that such notice was furnished as particularly described by me in this public announcement. I'll take a roll call. Councilman Armington?
Here.
Councilwoman Davis? Here. Councilwoman Deeb?
Here.
Councilman Elms?
Present.
Councilman Iannicone?
Here.
Councilman Silva?
Present.
And Council President Foster?
Here.
Madam President, you have a quorum.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to ask for a moment of silence, please. Followed by the rise of the Pledge of Allegiance.
Flagpole's looking kind of sad.
Needs a little shoring up.
It does need a little love.
I will take a look at that. Okay, we have 3 items on the consent agenda this evening. Unless a member of council would like to pull 1 or 2 out for separate consideration, I would ask for a motion to approve them en masse.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda en masse.
Seconded.
Councilman Armington?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
Councilwoman Deeb?
Yes.
Councilman Elms?
Yes.
Councilman Iannicone?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
Council President Foster?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to open up the public hearing. If there are any members of the public wishing to be heard, please come before us, state your name, address, and try to keep your comments down to under 5 minutes, please.
Hi, Kerry Lloyd, 48 Georgian Road. I just wanted to share with the council that I've applied for the open Morristown Parking Authority Commission position that's expiring at the end of the year. I think many of you know me from my 8+ years, I guess it is, at the board, on the Board of Adjustments, as a member, chair, vice chair, active member, I'll put it that way. I have put in my resignation from that position to Council President Foster and let a couple others know, and I think there's some good candidates to backfill. But I do want to continue serving the town, and I think the Morristown Parking Authority is a great opportunity for me to keep contributing to the town. There's a lot of stuff, as I've seen in the Board of Adjustments, going on in town, a lot of development. Things have changed over the 8 years that I've been involved with the Board of Adjustments. And the Parking Authority is one of those core spots that the town continues to need good leadership behind. And I think my background serving the town in the Board of Adjustments, Environmental Commission, and other county positions that I've held by appointment through the town will be valuable there, along with my background in construction management, my civil engineering degree, will be very valuable for consideration as we move forward with the commission. I think I've shown in the Parking Authority, in the Board of Adjustments, my critical thinking capabilities, my problem solving, and I think it's a good opportunity to bring some new, fresh insights into the Parking Authority as we look into the next 5 years that this appointment will cover. So I look forward to your consideration in the new year, and I appreciate your support through the years in the Board of Adjustments too. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hi, Susan Landau, 128 James.
Susan, say the last name again, please.
Landau, Landau. I'm here as a member of Friends of Foots Pond Wood, and we understand that the purchase of land from Loyola House of Retreats has closed. This is a remarkable event for Morristown, and we are really grateful. As you are well aware, preserving this natural parcel of land is significant for the plant and animal habitats and significant for Morristown. We're a modest but dedicated community group, and we have questions. And I'm just going to ask two tonight. First, we understand that there's the trail for the park. The plans for that trail have been completed because the neighbors of the park have received those engineering plans, and they look wonderful. It's a wide gravel path that circumnavigates the pond, and we just wondered if there was a schedule for construction of that. And then next, we know that the hydrology study of the pond was finished months ago, and we're wondering if there's a timetable for its release with your analysis, because I know you're going to want to explore.
So
Possibility.
not to cut you off, but Anthony's actually up in the Environmental Commission now giving that report.
Wow.
Not to make you run out of here, we'll get you a copy of the report.
No, I don't need it immediately, but that's great to know. That's progress. Thank you. So, and then in general, I'd like to encourage everybody, if you want to visit the pond to see the changes that are taking place. It's happening at a rapid pace now. I know it's been a concern for years. It's a healthy pond. It's just undergoing natural succession. And there may now be options with the current methods of lake management to preserve the open water habitat, options that are less onerous and less expensive than dredging in order to preserve the open water habitat. So we'd really appreciate considerations of those options. But mostly, thanks for the land. Thanks for the park.
So, Council President, so just for the record, I'm totally excited about it too, and your work with your group has been phenomenal. We have not closed on it.
Oh,
We're closing next week.
well.
So I didn't want you to think that.
A little in advance then.
So
We were
you're a little
told that
advanced,
it
but
closed
come
in
back to the
October.
next meeting and
I'll say it again.
say it again. Okay.
Hello, Council and Administration, Mayor. I am here in support of Foots Pond, and I've brought my show and tell. And the town of Morristown's health, you need my name, Linda
and your address.
Carrington. Linda Carrington, 49 McCullough Avenue, Morristown. Sorry, I forgot. The Foots Pond, as you know, is an ongoing interest. And in 2008, I joined a group of volunteers, and I bought these hip boots, and I have these tapes where we go out and we monitor the goose nest. So I've been doing this for now 11 years, and there are other people in this room who also go out and volunteer with their clippers and their branch loppers, and we monitor and take care of this pond. So I want you to know that there is a lot of community support, and so we thank you for your efforts.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you. All right, if there are no more, Billy.
Wouldn't be a council meeting without Billy.
Good evening. My name is Bill Byrne, and I live at 100 Franklin Street, Morristown. And I'm here. I took a walk down there Washington Street and down by the Hedden Park, and I observed the sidewalks are really bad down there. First of all, you got cement like lifted up, and tell you what, I almost fell a couple of times, and just lucky a senior citizen hasn't walked down there. So you got to take a look at your sidewalks down there because they're in bad shape. Thank you.
Billy, what was the address?
100 Franklin Street.
No, not your address, the address where the sidewalk was.
It was like right in front of Vernon Park, you know, where that
Okay.
big lake is.
Wait, where is that
Down by
exactly?
Washington Street. Washington Street, down by Burnham Park.
On Washington Street?
Yeah.
All right, seeing no more members of the public, I'll close the public hearing. Are there any comments or concerns, any comments to the public from council members? on your comments?
I guess starting for the last one, can the administration look at the sidewalks and determine if there's any kind of liability there with the uneven pavement, and if someone can trip? Since now that it's been named publicly, I would be concerned
Yeah,
that,
most likely a tree is pushing up the sidewalk. That's where we find mostly. We'll get DPW on it.
okay. We could get that looked into and maybe a report back if it is an issue. On the Foots Pond, I think it's unfortunate tonight that the Environmental Commission is meeting tonight, the same night as a council night, and I can't attend the meeting unless I'm able to clone myself and be in two places at once. But I'm really saddened to miss the hydrology study update, because I've been asking for several months for an update. So is it possible that we could have an update here before the council of what's being given to the Environmental Commission the same night at the next meeting?
Well, the Environmental Commission is going to come back with a report. I mean, I can ask. I mean, it's kind of dual. We're going to have the Environmental Commission give a report, and then Anthony's going to come back and give a report too. So usually our meetings are the 2nd and 4th. So this is the month of December. This meeting was moved to today. Their commission meetings are set the way they are set for the year. But when they're done that report, obviously the report can be issued to the council, and then the Environmental Commission will come and give a report to the council.
Well, I would really like a copy of that report, Mayor.
Sure, all of
please.
you are going to get a copy of the report.
And if possible, if I have any questions, I'd like to request permission to meet with the engineer via the public administrator.
Absolutely.
So that I could understand the facts that are present in the hydrology study.
Absolutely.
So regarding the parking authority, I just have a question. I was reading that there's a lot that's going to be constructed where the farmer's market is, and I just was wondering if maybe Councilman Bob could give us a report as to where the farmer's market would be relocated if that lot does get constructed.
I can talk about that during the
Council
reports.
liaison reports.
Great, thank you.
Any other comments from council members? Okay, moving on to a report of mayor and town officials.
Ready?
Seeing none, we'll go on to the other presentations and reports. So we're going to have the swearing in, or are you going to give your report?
Yeah, I'm going to give my report. Boy, you're moving this fast. Maybe you don't want to give a report. You just want to get everybody sworn in. Real quick, I just want to thank, I don't know if the partnership's here, if Jen's here. She usually is here. Sunday was a great day for the 25th of Santa's arrival on the green that Sunday. The weather was cooperative, and it was a really large turnout, and it was a lot of fun. The Hyatt on the 29th did their annual Hyatt tree lighting, which was also a very well-attended event and a very successful event. On the this past Monday, the 3rd, Hanukkah on the Green by Rabbinical College of America and Shabbat Young Professionals was held. A number of council members were there to celebrate the Hanukkah by the Rabbinical College. On Wednesday, mark your calendars, which is tomorrow, December 5th, there'll be another lighting of the menorah on the Morristown Green by the Morristown Jewish Center. So that's 6 o'clock tomorrow night, for those who can make it. Wednesday, the 12th, if you want to stop by and say hello. I know Councilwoman Deeb tries to make a stop every year. The senior holiday party will be on the 3rd floor. That's from noon till 2. That's the 12th of December. On the 13th of December, at 4 p.m., Unity Charter School ribbon cutting for the new creator and physical ed space on Evergreen Place off of Ridgedale Avenue. That's 4 p.m., December 13th at Unity Charter School, 1 Evergreen Place off of Ridgedale Avenue. Friday, December 14th, from noon till 2, there'll be a town hall. Here at Town Hall, a Town Hall employee holiday party at the Senior Center. Please come by and say hello to all the town employees. They would love to see you. That's Friday, the 14th, at noon to 2. On Sunday, the 16th, Council President, you want to make your announcement for the 16th?
Our Youth Their Future organization will be hosting its 6th annual holiday spectacular in which we have the kids decorate gingerbread houses. We have Santa come who gives out a gift to each child. We have food, DJ, and it's a lot of fun for the kids. And this year we have about 125 or more kids registered. So it'll be a very busy day on Sunday.
It always is. And the last thing I have on here, which is attached to my notes, which I'm not really up to speed on, but I know it's been advertised, is the Recreation Holiday Home Decorating Contest. So that ends the 7th. So there's a bunch of prizes. Each one in the ward gets a prize for the best holiday light and decoration display. And they'll get a partnership gift certificate. So that's still going on. That's the 7th. It's on the website. I'm assuming it's on the website. So check that out. I guess I could. No, I can't. I have some lights in front of my house, but it's not that decorative.
Nothing.
Other than that, that's all I have, Council President.
All right, thank
Ashley,
you for
you
your
swear in.
report, Mayor. All right, moving on to swearing in of firefighter Daniel Whitehead.
Mike?
Good evening, Mayor, members of council, family and friends of our firefighter here, Daniel Whitehead. Welcome. I'm Michael Corcoran, Director of Public Safety, and this is one of the best parts of my job, welcoming new members to our public safety family. I'm just going to go through Dan's bio real quick. He's been a dedicated volunteer firefighter for the First Ward Hose Company for 4 years. He was hired into the Career Division this year, residing under Captain Barter on Tour 1. He and his wife Christine have one son, Danny Jr., who I had the privilege of meeting just a little while ago. Handsome little 16-month-old guy there. Dan comes from a long line of fire service, and one thing I've learned about the fire service, very much steeped in tradition and history, and Dan truly comes from a long line of firefighters, and proud to definitely be one of Morristown's bravest. His father's the current deputy fire chief. Bob Whitehead, to my left. Uncle Jim retired from Morristown Fire. Uncle Fred retired from Elizabeth Fire. Uncle Joe was a battalion chief in Newark. Cousin Joe, captain, fire. And lastly, grandfather was a volunteer in North Falmouth, Massachusetts. Joining the Morristown Fire Department has been a long-time goal of Dan's for as long as he can remember. And in the short time that I've been here the past 2 months, I've been really impressed with the fire service under Chief Flanagan's leadership. They knocked down a fire very quickly over the weekend, Saturday night, right behind us here on Franklin. Definitely a proud group of professionals, definitely Morristown's bravest, and we're pleased to welcome Dan to the Morristown Public Safety family. So without further ado, let's start.
Sure. Raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Daniel Whitehead,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly
and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly
perform all of the duties
perform all of the duties
of the office of firefighter
of the office of firefighter
with Morristown Fire Bureau
for the Morristown Fire Bureau
to the best of my ability, so help me God.
to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Congratulations, and thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Ray. All right.
Hey, congratulations, Dan.
Thank you, Chief.
You got it. All right.
First of all, I'd really like to say thank you, Mayor. Thank you, administration, for all the support, the council for all the support you guys give the fire department. If I may, I'd like to recognize we have two retired chiefs here, Chief Gary Desajon standing in the back there. And we have retired Deputy Chief Proctauser. I thought he was here. I see, there he is. And we have a retired Captain McCuskey who actually heads up the Division of Fire Safety for the state of New Jersey in the back there. Rich? And what's so important to me about tonight is, you know, I always tell everybody that the fire department, we are a family. Now, that means your personal family also. We're there for everybody through thick and thin. And I just want to recognize and thank Kathy Beston, who's sitting in the back there. Her husband, our captain, Tim Murphy, just passed away a few weeks ago. Thank you, Kathy, for coming out. And, I'd also like to recognize, they talked about the history of the fire department in the lineage of Dan here. Right behind him, I used to work with his uncle, retired Jim Kling, right behind there. So thanks, Jim, for everything you did. And Mike, that was a great introduction. That's great. I'm glad you're here now. Thanks. All right, thank you, everybody.
Chief does stand-up comedy, too. Next, I want to introduce Officer John Sweetman. John, if you could come up. And Chief Pete Demnitz is here, too. We were supposed to be swearing in two police officers tonight. Unfortunately, Officer Appel became ill. So we're going to just swear in John tonight. Had the privilege of meeting John at his Police Academy graduation last week. Very festive event. He's already has a couple tours under his belt, too. So he's been out there experiencing the vibrant town of Morristown. John grew up in Boonton Township. He's lived in Morristown for the past 3 years. Comes from a large family, including his mom, dad, 3 brothers and sisters, all of whom are here. Is recently engaged to his fiancée, Amanda, who's also here, and they plan on getting married in August. So congratulations on that. John went to Seton Hall University, graduated in 2012 with a degree in accounting, and he went to work for a large accounting firm, PricewaterhouseCooper, in the tax department for 4 years. Then ultimately went to work for Mars, continued down the path of tax before he found his passion of law enforcement. While attending college, he joined the Boonton Township Fire Department as a volunteer, and after moving to Morristown, he joined the Woodland Company of the Morris Township Fire Department. So his definitely passion was definitely instilled in him for public safety, and ultimately led to his career choice, becoming a Morristown police officer. And we couldn't be happier having him here today. So without further ado, Officer John Sweetman. And,
a little further ado, because I just want to do something a little different. When John graduated from the academy, the sheriff acknowledged the family of John. And I want to do something a little bit different because you are part of our family. You've been impacted by the arduous application process and 21 weeks at the academy. So I would like mom and dad and brothers and sisters to stand behind while he takes the oath of office and be part of this ceremony, because you really are part of this. You've been part of it, and you will be part of his career. Walking up, I'll give you a lesson from a friend of mine, Superintendent Montana Highway Patrol, who's married 37 years. He said he stayed married for 37 years because he would come home with a look on his face, and he would say, "Hun, I lived it once. I don't want to live it again by talking about it." So.
Really funny. Raise your right hand, put your left hand on the Bible. I state your name.
I, John Sweetman,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state,
under
the authority of the people,
and
that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly
and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly justly,
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of the office of police officer,
of the office of police officer
Morristown Bureau of Police,
of the Morristown Bureau of Police,
to the best of my ability, so help me God.
to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Congratulations.
While he's shaking hands, I will echo Chief Flanagan's remarks. We grew up actually on Dogwood Road together. Thanking the council, the town attorney who doesn't get thanked enough, the business administrator, and the new public safety director. And I think it's my job to invite fire and police personnel out into the lobby for handshakes, back slaps, and photos, okay? And hopefully you won't mind that we're leaving for that. No, no. All right, carry on.
See you later.
I'm sure he's not the first one.
I said to him, I saw him one day. I said, "You was hiding up under a rock. I didn't see you. You on a job, but I never see you." That's good detective work. Me too. I was excited for that. Yes. I do. I like him. Yeah, he's dynamic. So can we look forward to you singing at the spectacular this year? To do a solo?
No, I'm very busy. I'm gonna be like bananas.
I see you.
And so the outstanding questions is the traffic.
I'm scared we're not even gonna fit.
Is it two-way? Is it one-way? Is it two-way only part of the way?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Is this the...
Okay, moving on to council liaison reports. No, I was like playing.
Oh, go ahead. As you
That was a joke. I ain't called it.
I'm sorry, what was that?
You were chatting, and I
No,
said,
you were telling me to pay attention, which I wasn't doing, so now I'm paying
it was
attention.
a
You got
joke.
me.
It was a joke. It was a joke.
We're waiting for the fire department to leave, and the police department.
And now we have an empty room, so we can really move through this.
It's still important people here.
But actually, are you doing liaison reports?
Yes, council liaison reports at this time.
Yes, Parking Authority actually met tonight. And with reference to Councilperson Deebs, with reference to the Lot 10, you know, the engineering, they've contracted with the engineers. The engineers have been doing some of the work, i.e. soil studies, what have you, so that's progressing. At administration suggestion, the Phil and the planners have gotten involved with the planning of the project. Concern there, again, is going to be positioning of the building to minimize possible traffic impact. The project is moving slower because if you remember, they were originally going to come here and present over the summer. But the project is moving slower, but I think it's a good thing that the project's moving slower. It's moving slower because they're being cautious about the development of the lot, and they're actually garnering more public input into the lot and how the lot's going to function. As you know, for example, the Mayo Center has tremendous interest in this lot because of its proximity to the Mayo Center. So how is it going to operate, for example, with the Mayo Center? And that will actually, in turn, get a lot of traffic off of other parts of our streets in town by having the parking a little bit closer to the center itself. So Phil's going to be working with them. A big part of this is going to be traffic. How do people get in and out of the garage? As you know, is there going to be a right-hand turn, a left-hand turn permitted on Mars? Is there going to be access via Pine or DeHart? A lot of discussion going on, which is a good thing. And along those lines, probably they're going to be piggybacking or talking to the town about our traffic study and how the study fits in with this particular app, because this is similar to any other development application, though it may not be a formal application because it's the parking authority, but still, the traffic impact is going to be a concern, and maybe they'll piggyback off of a lot of the traffic studies that we've done here in the town. You know, the height of the structure was discussed with the mayor's cooperation and with the input. You know, it's going to be a 5-story structure. We do know that. But again, they're looking at the positioning of it. With reference to the farmer's market, at a prior meeting, it was discussed with Phil and the mayor to get folks involved because we want to be able to create that public space around the garage. So there will be public space around the garage, similar to what I think was done with the projects with the park along Early Street and Prospect. So there will be provisions, hopefully, for the farmers market, but it's going to be different. It will be different. Definitely, it's going to be different. Again, at this meeting and at the Parking Authority meeting, the Wilmot Business Association is concerned with the construction of the garage. They're happy about the garage. What they're concerned about is the period of time during construction where their businesses may be interfered with. And like a lot of small business owners, they operate on slim margins. Missing cash in any particular month could be disastrous for those small business owners. So the Parking Authority will also be looking at what they can do to help with the impact, either in staging a development and/or other options for those business owners during the construction period. So there's a lot of planning still going on, and let's stay tuned. I will tell you again, I think it's a good thing that it's slowed down a little bit. I think what's great about this is there's going to be a lot of public discussion, a lot of public input, and also there's it's going to bring up some more and more issues with reference to surrounding properties around that garage. A couple of other things that came up. We talked about at the last meeting extending the 2-hour parking. What I would encourage, and I think that becomes an ordinance with this group, to extend the meter parking from 1.5 hours to 2-hour parking. There was discussion that a lot of the restaurant owners, they think having that extra half an hour for people going out to dinner would make a big difference. And so the request from several people, including the Parking Authority, is that we extend the 1.5 hour meters to 2-hour meters, with the understanding that maybe there should be conversations with the Morristown Partnership and the town with reference to what meters should remain 30-minute meters, i.e. outside a coffee shop, outside Dunkin' Donuts, outside a Starbucks and the likes. So probably we want to get that ordinance somewhat moving, okay? And then finally, remind everybody that, between December 12th and December 24th, the Parking Authority has arranged for the free parking. They'll be bagging the meters. So that's a gift from the Parking Authority for the holidays. And that'll be between the 12th and the 24th.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Any other council liaison reports?
Yeah, I'm sorry to have missed the Environmental Commission meeting tonight. It was at the same time as our meeting, so I wasn't able to attend that. But I did have some concerns about the letter that was received, that I received from the Southeast Morris County Municipal Utilities Authority about the level of total trihalomethane, TTHM, in the water, and that there was one of 8 sites that were tested that exceeded the 80 micrograms, which is the standard. So I would like to put this for public record, and I'd like to get a report from the SMCMUA, perhaps Laura Cummings. She's attended our meetings in the past to give us an update. And I also would like to find out if this letter, which it looks like it was sent to all residents, if it was sent in Spanish.
Oh, okay.
So,
I received it as well. Yeah, I'd be curious to know, even if they do get below the range, it sounds like we're still hovering at the limit, 80 micrograms. So I wonder if it's just going to stay up at that upper limit of what's deemed acceptable, or if they have a plan to bring it comfortably down into, a more acceptable range.
I got it, too.
it sounds like they are going to do another test in January.
Yeah.
But if you read all the fine print, which really concerned me is that people who are drinking this water are having adverse health effects. And so that really concerned me. And another question I had was, how effective is our local Brita or Zero Water or whatever it is we're using? Sorry to have mentioned 2 brand names, but I'm sure there's a few others. But I would like to know how effective that is at countering or does that work? I don't know. I'm not an environmental scientist, but but I do filter my water, but is that something that, so, you know, it does say that we shouldn't be concerned, but whenever I read that, I always put my hand up, so I'd really like this to be part of the correspondence record, and if we can, at your discretion and pleasure, invite a representative to give us this scoop, I'd appreciate it.
Council President?
Sure.
I think I can add some information, although I certainly can't address all of the questions that you raised. When this issue first presented itself a few months ago, the mayor and I actually met with Laura Cummings and the board and some of their board members and engineers regarding this issue. And my understanding is that there's a quarterly report that's done at several locations throughout town and throughout their system. There was one location that had a reading that exceeded the federal level. What happens when there's a federal level exceeded, there is a standard letter that's required to be sent to all residents that are within the system, which is the letter that you received. That's a letter that's not written by the SMCMUA. That's something that's specifically prescribed by DEP anytime, or excuse me, EPA, anytime that there is a test that's outside the limit. Our understanding is that the levels that are in the water, you would have to drink something like 2 gallons a day for 72 years to really see any adverse impact from the contaminants that are in the water at the levels that they've measured. That's how it was described to us as far as the relative danger, which is why there's not a boil water advisory or anything else. However, because there is a reading that exceeds the federal level, they have to send these notices out. We have gotten a couple of questions from residents in town, and we've referred them to the experts at the SMCMUA to address any questions. I certainly would defer any questions that you have regarding this notice and any sort of technical issues to them directly, but I did want to share the information that we learned from them over the summer.
Thank you.
Morristown Partnership met on November 14th. It was the week of the League of Municipalities. On that Wednesday, I was actually not feeling well, so I did not make the meeting. But as you can all see, holiday season is in full swing. My family and I went to the Green on Sunday and had our pictures with Santa. There was a band playing in the tent. It was really cool. It was great. The Green looks beautiful. I was actually trying to pull up Santa's schedule on my tablet here, but I'm not connected. But everyone should visit the partnership website, morristown-nj.org, and go check out the different events on the Green.
Thank you. Nothing from housing?
No, there was not a quorum, so they weren't able to meet.
Okay. All right, any calendar of events other than what has already been discussed?
To address that.
Okay, moving on to regular business.
Excuse me. There are 2 ordinances for introduction this evening. Ordinance number O-43-2018, an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 30 Land Development Code, Section 2F5, Utilities. I have a motion to introduce.
I'd like to make a motion to introduce ordinance number O-43-2018.
I'll second it.
Any questions or comments from council members? Seeing none, call the question, please.
Okay. On the introduction of O-43-2018, Councilman Armington?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
Councilwoman Deeb?
Abstain.
Councilman Elms?
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
Council President Foster?
Yes.
Motion carries. Ordinance O-43-2018 has been properly introduced by title and is tentatively scheduled for a public hearing on December 18th after a consistency review by the Planning Board at their December 6th meeting.
Council President?
Sure.
May I have permission to interrupt for a second?
Yes.
So I just want everybody to be aware of what was just introduced. All electrical it's done with new development is going underground by ordinance. We're not going to get into the debate with JCP&L, who's paying $20,000 for that or who has to pay $40,000 for that. All utilities are underground in new development. That's what you introduced.
It's a good move.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, especially with the storms and the trees and everything
Yep.
else you've been battling.
Yep.
So is that all new development
Yep.
as of starting tomorrow?
As you
or-
pass the ordinance. as soon as the ordinance is passed.
So any new development that gets developed, the wires have to be underground?
Yes.
And who's paying for that?
Developer will pay for it. Or he won't develop.
Okay, second, we have ordinance O-44-2018, an ordinance of the Town of Morristown and the County of Morris, State of New Jersey, establishing compensation for certain officers, employees of the Town of Morristown. May I have a motion to introduce?
I'd like to make a motion to introduce ordinance number O-44-2018.
I'll second it.
Any questions or comments from council members? Seeing none, call the question.
On the introduction of O-44-2018, Councilman Armington?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
Councilwoman Deeb?
Yes.
Councilman Elms?
Yes.
Councilman Iannicone?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
Council President Foster?
Yes.
Motion carries. Ordinance O-44-2018 has been introduced properly by title and will be considered further after a public hearing to be held on December 18th. There are two ordinances for adoption this evening. Ordinance O-40-2018, an ordinance amending and supplementing the code of the Town of Morristown, Chapter 7, titled Traffic.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt ordinance number O-40-2018.
I'll second it.
Okay, at this time, I'll open up the public hearing for this ordinance. Seeing none, I'll close the public portion. Any comments or questions from council members?
Just a question, because I think it's really not a question. I think it just should be discussed. And I know they've already planned, it's going to be the communication of this to the residents on the streets that are affected. Because it is a change, it's a change, and I think it's my discussion with folks, I think it's going to be favorably acceptable. But I know you have a communication plan. You want to just give us an idea of what the plan is?
Yeah, it'll be multimodal through social media. The newsletter will also be including notices to all residents, hopefully through Morristown Green as well. We'll help to notify residents, and it'll be something be rolled out slowly. It will not happen overnight. We'll put a date, probably the end of March, as an effective date to then start enforcement and allow people enough time to get their visitors' passes and to turn in the visitors' passes that they have and make sure that all the necessary new enforcement mechanisms are in place. We've already been meeting with the parking authority. They're aware of the change that we're making, the police department as well. So, we're looking forward to, I won't say seamless, but hopefully as painless a process as possible.
And I think you're also doing a direct mail to households, too.
Yes, yes, sorry, yes.
So how is this process different from what we've had in the past?
You want to take it?
The process that we had in place before was a little bit convoluted. It wasn't, there weren't a lot of measures in place to kind of keep it from getting sort of out of control. So what ended up happening is that there were multiple parking passes going out, and it ended up that there was, of course, not enough parking for all of the residents.
Right.
So, and then visitors, of course, was just a piece of yellow paper that was easily counterfeited so that folks could make their own visitor parking passes and that kind of thing. So the changes we made here were to change the resident stickers to make them more easily identifiable, more easily read by enforcement. We're also limiting the number of resident parking stickers that are permitted, which is going to be 3 per dwelling unit, but there will be an opportunity for special cases and things like that.
As opposed to what was it before?
6
So it's reduced from 6.
to 3. Because sadly, some folks, I believe, were abusing it, and it was at the expense of others that were not. And then in terms of visitor parking, in order to tighten up that process, we are offering each dwelling unit 1 permanent hang tag that's reusable to give to their visitors to use for any long-term parking or short-term parking. We're also offering 1-use only parking tags where there's scratch off, you scratch off the date, and they're good until 8 a.m. the next morning, and those are available for purchase. We're going to sell them in bundles of 5 for $5.
So how did this process get determined and discussed and implemented as the process that we were gonna?
Well, I think parking issues, it's been an ongoing discussion, and there was brainstorming done with administration as well as the clerk's office and with the parking authority to develop, the best steps to try and bring it a little bit more under control.
You also met with the councils.
Yeah,
Is there a council subcommittee or council committee?
No, it was brought here a couple of times.
Yeah.
We've had this discussion at the council meeting.
A couple times.
So the reason I ask is because I know I was not able to meet with you on this. I know we had scheduled something. So does this impact all the streets that currently have permit parking
Yes.
now in town?
Yes.
Thank you.
I'll just say, we floated this against several of the neighborhoods that actually have these restrictions, and just to see what the public opinion was going to be, because I had probably similar concerns that you have. It's a change, it's a little bit more of an imposition. But the public was, actually, I was surprised. They actually thought it was an improvement.
Yeah, I don't,
Absolutely.
Yes.
I wasn't able to meet.
I even received
So
phone
I
calls
don't know, I haven't
today
been able to socialize it with
to
anybody.
vote
in
yes
my
on this, from
neighborhood.
people in places where they really need this. Yes. Is any plan to communication in Spanish for this? Okay.
Yes, we'll make sure that it's communicated in English and in Spanish.
And how has Western been incorporated into this? I know that people from Western Avenue have been coming to council meetings, and there's been no resolution as to
We're
the
still
problems
working on
there.
that. This is not related to this ordinance, so Council President, if you want me to come back to it, I can. But, we are still working on Western. We did do night counts. We are reviewing the residency component of the ordinance related to residential parking. And there's some challenges with doing that. But once we have that resolved, then we'll come back to this board with a recommendation as to how to address Western Avenue. And I can talk to you more about that offline as well.
Thank you.
Margot, was the new system, is it based off of a structure that another town has employed, or did we kind of build it from scratch?
A combination of both. I know that other towns, I believe Montclair.
Right, the self-validating one-use visitors permits are used in Montclair and East Orange that I know of.
Okay.
And something that works pretty well there. The old school way of doing overnight parking would you call the police department and they keep a log. Well, that doesn't really work well. Something you have to buy at the time. You don't know when you're going to need it. So the self-validating, you can buy them in advance and you have them on hand so that when you do need them, then you can just validate it at the point at which you need it. It's worked well in a lot of other places, so I think it will work well here as well.
So what if you have more than 3 guests come to your house at one night?
Then you use the self-validating visitors passes.
So the self-validating, and you're given how many of those?
You can buy as many as you
Five.
want.
You have to buy them.
Yes,
Five for
they're
$5.
five for $5, so $1 each.
Though we also
That
had
really
the
covers the
discussion that if you have a regular event or have an event, call the police, call
Yes.
the parking authority, let them know that you're having the event.
Yes,
There's a little
that's still
flexibility
available.
to it, yeah.
We'll work with residents if,
If
someone's
you're having a
large
party, if you're having a graduation party, the Kellogg Club calls every week. They have
We
an
have a
event. They
weekly
call the
book
parking
club,
authority.
weekly poker game, whatever.
Yeah, we got tickets one night for that.
There's
I
also,
forgot to call.
right, we also modified it for a clause for a caretaker as well. So if someone has a caretaker, then there's a means for addressing that.
Would it be possible to get, for the council to see the samples that are being provided? Because I don't live on a public
We saw
street,
them.
so
Margot has all of the materials.
Okay.
I can certainly get you another copy.
I don't see it in here. Is it a part of this?
Well, the tags, she showed us when we met.
Oh,
Those were provided some time ago, but I can certainly provide another copy.
yeah, I didn't see them. If they were part of this record, I didn't see them.
I know the councilwoman did the information she's requesting.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Okay, call the question.
On the adoption of ordinance 40-2018, Councilman Armington.
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis.
Yes.
Councilwoman Deeb.
Abstain.
Councilman Elms.
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone.
Yes.
Councilman Silva.
Yes.
Council President Foster.
Yes.
Motion carries. Ordinance 040-2018 is adopted. Ordinance number 041-2018, ordinance appropriating $670,000 from the Sewer Capital Improvement Fund for various sewer improvements in and by the town of Morristown and the county of Morris, New Jersey. Motion to adopt?
I would like to make a motion to adopt ordinance number 0-41-2018.
I'll second it.
Any, at this time, I'd like to open up the public hearing for this ordinance. Billy? Oh, wait, Billy, we're on ordinance number 0-4118, sorry. All right, seeing no comments from the public, any questions or comments from council members on this ordinance? Seeing none, call the question, please.
On the adoption of 41-2018, Councilman Armington.
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis.
Yes.
Councilwoman Deeb.
Yes.
Councilman Elms.
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone.
Yes.
Councilman Silva.
Yes.
Council President Foster.
Yes.
Motion carries. Ordinance 0-41-2018 is adopted. We have three resolutions for adoption, for adoption on the agenda this evening. Unless a member of council would like to consider one separately, I would ask for a motion to adopt R-2017-2018 through R-219-2018 and Moss.
I'd like to make a motion to approve in Moss.
I second it.
Councilman Armington?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
Councilwoman Deeb?
Yes.
Councilman Elms?
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
Council President Foster.
Yes.
Motion carries.
So you got your fire.
You know, I think for the public, would it be possible to just get some background information on Resolution R-218? Because there was a meeting a few weeks ago where there were a lot of people attended. I unfortunately I missed the first half hour of that meeting, but it was to discuss the contract, and I see that you've worked it out, which is terrific, but could you give us an update for the benefit of the public?
This is actually the fire contract that's settled. The majority of the employees that were at the meeting the last time were PBA, that was police, which is still under negotiation. Fire's been under negotiation for the better part of this year. We've come to an amicable resolution, which is cost-effective for the town, but also, I think, fair to the employees, which is something that we always try to achieve. So I'm pleased and I appreciate your support in passing the contract.
And could you just explain and clarify what was agreed upon?
The MOU is in your packet. It includes salaries as well as some updates to health benefits, longevity, and some ancillary compensation as well. The detail is in your packet. The MOU is attached.
So the increase is how much this year?
1.75% for the top step.
1.75%?
Yes.
And was it like a 3-year contract, or
It's a
was
4-year contract.
4-year?
Yes.
And what's the increase every year?
It's 1.75%
Each
for
year?
each year for the top
Okay.
step. So the first year adds a top step to the salary progression. I believe it adds a 7-step. And then each subsequent year, the top step increases by 1.75%.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, there's no unfinished business, no new business. Not, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Just a request to have the water on the agenda for next time, if you can.
Okay. Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned.
She can.
Oh, sorry, I didn't wait for you.